In this video, we will be discussing common mistakes that could be potentially killing your credit score. The easiest way to improve your credit score is to check your credit report regularly. I would recommend that you check your credit score on minimum at least once a month. And you can do this by checking it with the three common credit bureaus: TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. Then check all three and get a tri-merge credit report for $1 at creditchecktotal.com. It's a 7-day trial membership. You pay $1. They will give you all three of your credit reports with scores. So I would check that out. If you have not checked your credit in the past month, I would check them out. Number one, correct these common mistakes to improve your credit score. What are some of the common mistakes on your credit report? Information as such as your name. Having your name misspelled, or having a suffix at the end of your name when you don't have a suffix at the end of your name could affect your credit score. Just like an address being incorrectly reported. You could have been an address you were at 10 years ago. That could negatively affect your credit score because whoever else lived at that address could have had a eviction, and it could tie you into that. Also, other things, your history being incomplete or incorrect. Number two, a payment marked as late or missed even though it was paid on time. According to credit.com, even one payment marked as late or missed could lower your credit score by 110 points, depending how old the payments are. A late or missed payment that happened in recent past counts more heavily against your credit than older ones. 3, an account that you don't recognize. When you first check your credit report, you should scrutinize it very closely. And if there's something on there that you don't recognize, 90% of the time you've been a victim of identity theft. And to protect your credit from this, I would advise you to go to Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. They all have them. It's a free credit lock. I use them myself. It puts you in control of when your credit can be actually pulled or not. That would be my advice to you. Get the credit lock. Number 4, an account that has been paid off is still reporting a balance. This can be very frustrating. You've paid you worked on your credit, you've paid your balances down to zero, and then you say, hey, I'm going to go apply for this auto loan, or I'm going to go apply for this line of credit. You're told that your debt to income ratio is too high because you have this other account that hasn't been paid off. This is another reason why we should check the credit report on a regular basis. Number 5, an inquiry older than 2 years is still showing up on your credit report. I can speak to this personally. You can have inquiries that were supposed to fall off your credit report and they're still hanging around on there. And then you go apply for some credit and they look at that, especially in the business world, they look at it and say, well, in the past year, we see that you have eight inquiries, and you really should only have 4 in the past year, but you got 8 because the other 4 is still hanging on there. Plus, your credit score has taken a dip because an inquiry can 3 to 5 points on your credit score. So if you got 2 or 3, 4 of those hanging around, that can be anywhere between 10 to 20 points lowering on your credit score. Soft inquiries are different than hard inquiries. A soft inquiry is like when you pull your own credit or your employee pull your credit, or if you're going to rent a house or apartment and they pull your credit. That's a soft inquiry. A hard inquiry is like when you're going for a trade line, personal line of credit, or you're going for an auto loan, or you're going for a mortgage. And here's a little tip on an auto loan. If you go to your credit union or bank and you get pre-approved for an auto loan, before you go to a dealership, I would advise you to lock your credit. Because once you go into the dealership is going to ask you for your social security number, and they're going to run your credit. And they can hit you for at least between 3 and 10 inquiries on that one shot. Now, say you go and shop around at 2 or 3 different dealerships before you choose an auto. That could be up to 30 inquiries on your credit report. So it would be to your advantage to utilize the credit lock system from the credit bureaus. And you shouldn't have any more than 4 inquiries on your credit report in a 6 to 12 month period. It just doesn't look good to creditors when you have more than that, because it makes you seem desperate for credit or money. And it will cause more denials. Number 6, a derogatory mark ordered in 7 years showing up on your credit report. Say if something goes to collection, you should never pay it. You should dispute it. And you shouldn't dispute it online, because once you dispute it online, there's a clause in there, the fine print, that if you dispute it online and they come back and find that account is valid, then you don't have the opportunity to dispute it again. You should do all your disputes in writing. But say you have that collection on there and it's about to fall off in 3 months. So you wait the 3 months and it's going to fall off on, let's say, the 22nd of the month. Well, if you see it fall off on the 22nd of the month, but it's back on there on the 24th of the month, that's called re-aging. Collection agency sells it to another collection agency, and they wait 2 days and they put it back on there, and your 7 years start all over again. Or say you don't understand the process of not paying off a collection account, and you call them up and you say, hey, I want to pay this off, because you think that's going to boost your credit score up, and it's not. And you up a payment arrangement. Well, they're going to re-age you. When you make that first payment, that's when your 7 years start all over again. So once again, you should check your credit report regularly, and you should never pay collections, and you should dispute in writing. Peace and blessings when we learn to do the will of the Creator.